Hi, and welcome to a video presentation of what we call the Lumix Diaries. I want to share something with you that I've experienced here. I'm in South Africa and have been shooting the GX8 extensively over the last month and a half. I've been here for two separate trips for 2 weeks each, using the 40 to 150 Olympus 2.8 lens and the Olympus 1.4 Teleconverter. And what I want to share with you guys is a big disappointment. The GX8 has been performing incredibly well. The 40 to 150 has been an absolute stellar lens to have in an African environment and having the capability of the zooms. The one downside that I've experienced is I've gone through 2 of these 1.4 teleconverters in about 3 months. The first one started to lose contact with the lens and started short-circuiting the camera itself. And that happened on my last trip here. I went back, sent that one in to be fixed, and bought a new one to come back to South Africa. On this trip, I've had 2 screws fall out in this teleconverter since I've had it for about a week or about a month and a half. And I have to say, I'm sharing this in video form because it's really disappointing. This part of the Lumix Diaries that we've talked about in my blog is that I am documenting and sharing with everybody the pros and cons of switching to these smaller format cameras and lenses. I've not had anything happen like this to my Panasonic gear at this point, and hopefully won't. But I've never had, in almost 40 years of shooting Nikon gear, I never had any screws fall out of a lens or out of my camera bodies. So I think this is really unique and different. I think Olympus has to really step up and figure out ways to keep their gear put together. As I said, this is the second one I've had go south on me in about 3 months. And it's a stellar piece of optical equipment. It's very sharp, but screws falling out of it obviously are going to affect how you get your pictures. And this is one of the downsides to going with a company at this point that has not stepped up to apparently professional standards. So disappointing, but it is part of the Lumix Diary to share with you the pros and cons of what this stuff, how this stuff performs, and what I'm experiencing on my adventure of switching from the big traditional DSLRs to the smaller Micro Four Thirds cameras in particular. Kind of disappointing that the Olympus stuff is falling apart on me, but I think it's important for you guys to know. So we're going to put the screws back in this thing. Luckily, I found both the screws, and we're going to put the screws back in this thing and get it taken care of so I can continue to shoot with this for the next week and a half that we'll be here. So there we have it. We're all set, got it all fixed. Disappointed that it happened, but thankfully the screws were there in the bottom of my camera bag, and we're ready to go, and we can shoot the rest of the trip with this teleconverter.